Yeah, Corey. All right, so you want to talk a little bit about Aaron Glenn?
Yeah.
That's sinister.
How many? This is a mess. The coaching's a mess. The defense is okay. The quarterback situation's a mess. We all thought the offensive line was going to be so great. That's a mess. Wide receiver 2 do we have, or 3 or 4 do we have? We might have a 1. So, yeah, and how many games do you give the coach if they don't find a win?
So, I mean, are you calling Aaron Glenn a bum?
That sounds like he's Corey's
calling him a
bumming.
bum?
I can't co-sign that.
It sounds like it, yes.
It sounds like it. Okay. Well,
Here's the thing, and Rich has been pointing this out when talking about the Jets season and Aaron Glenn. Dan Campbell started 0-10-1.
This is a fact.
His first year in Detroit, okay? And then the next year they were, 0-6 or 1-6, whatever it was. They got off to a slow start again. However, it was Detroit. You know what I mean? So you kind of expected them to be terrible. And look,
you don't expect the Jets to be terrible?
While I expect the
talking
Jets to be terrible, you get a little bit of longer leash when the media scrutiny is less than.
No, that's fact.
And New York, a lot of media scrutiny, a lot of people with microphones and people read newspapers there still. And
do they?
So I feel like it.
I think more so than anywhere else.
They
probably.
print them still for sure.
If they go 1-16, what is the point of keeping this guy around?
Well,
So just fire him after 1 year?
you need to have some patience. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of patience.
Only
And
if there are
Corey,
signs.
thank you for the call.
Yeah, only if there are signs of improvement.
Sure.
Through 7 weeks, what have been the signs of improvement?
Well, you can't look at the defense, which is unfortunate because that is his specialty, and the defense has been underperforming. The entire staff, though, is inexperienced pretty much at the positions that they're in. So this is all new, and it's a transition year. I feel like you just kind of have to give them at least a few more games here, right?
I don't know. If you look at the Jets schedule, where are there multiple wins?
Well,
So then
let's
what?
see.
You
They
want to
gotta
fire the coach?
I know.
and
Can they
bring
play?
in a whole new
Can the
regime?
Jets play the Jets?
And the Jets.
Are the Jets on their
It
schedule?
would end in a tie, most likely. So.
Yeah, look, I was calling for my guy last year to be one and done because
Yeah.
it was such a disaster and there were very little signs of improvement and that things were trending in the right direction. And if you make a right hire, you get it right, you can see how much culture can get turned around. And you're seeing that in New England this year.
They're going to win week 11.
They have the Dolphins week 14. So
They might.
there's that. They have
kidding.
the Saints week 16. But
At least the Saints are competitive in
come on,
most
don't say
games.
that about
Miami
Saints.
is not, so that might be a victory, but who knows?
What about week 8? They're playing the Bengals. Maybe because this defense is struggling so bad in Cincinnati. I don't know whose defense is struggling more, but maybe if they get that win, then Aaron Glenn is safe in the bye week right afterwards.
That would be huge.
Or major changes come that bye week.
Perhaps. I don't know. Look, Flacco looked all world on Thursday.
Yeah.
So
He really
you
did.
can't anticipate the
I
Jets
can't see
going in
them
there and slowing them down.
I also don't see Aaron, and this is Rich's team, so I'll go with what he says. I just don't see them letting him go this season.
It doesn't seem like that's going to happen,
No.
but you want to see some signs of improvement on the back half of the year. And look, that's going to start at the quarterback position. They weren't fully financially committed to Justin Fields. It was a 2-year, $40 million with only $10 million guaranteed for next year. That is an easy bye-bye to start over with a quarterback in the draft. The problem is that this crop of college quarterbacks right now that everyone thought was going to be amazing, they've really underwhelmed. And so
Isn't that the story every year, though, going into the draft, pretty much, that the quarterbacks are not that great this year?
yeah, look, last year at this time, Cam Ward wasn't really on anybody's radar as the number 1 overall pick. And
Now he's on the radar for these fumbles.
man, someone I saw a side-by-side graphic of his first 6 games with Will Levis, and Will Levis has double the stats and less, half the turnovers. And you're like, man, I know Will had an injury, and that's why he's out this year, but
Who's in worse shape, the Titans or the Jets?
Ooh.
you think that it's the Jets because they don't have a quarterback. You'd think Cam Ward is going to be that guy at some point.
He should be, yeah.
He should be. Does he have enough around him? Unclear. Brian Callahan was supposedly an offensive guy, and
He doesn't have an offensive line, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. But I think, did Aaron Glenn talk about this? Yeah,
I think we got some sound.
Justin Fields did get benched, and so is it going to be Tyrod moving forward?
Let's hear.
Well, that's something that, I want to continue to look at. Again, it's early on Monday, so I said this yesterday that there's a lot of thought that goes into that. For me personally, and then being able to get with the staff, and then just being able to ask other coaches that have been in a situation, how would they handle that? So I'm not running away from the question at all, Rich. The thing is, I want to make sure that I make the right decision, and I don't want to make rash decisions either. So I just want to make sure when the decision is made, it'll be the right one, and you guys know that real soon.
Did Rich Eisen ask that question? Was Rich there?
Maybe. I got to imagine that was Rich Cimini. But that's very logical and a well thought out answer and reasoning how you want to handle your team moving forward. It's just it's been rough for Fields.
For sure.
To say lightly.
Every stop of the way, and you would hope for him at some point that there is a situation where he goes to the right place with the right coaches and the right people around him.
Yeah, look, it's taken Baker Mayfield a few stops. It's taken Sam Darnold a few stops. Fields was, though, TJ, and we talked about this last year when it happened, 4-2 starting for Pittsburgh. Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was like, bye-bye, this is Russ's team. And
you're right. It takes a few different stops. It's taken a lot of stops for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is living proof.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.